Hi, Ed here from keywordspeopleuse.com, and I've got an exclusive time-limited offer for you. If you book a product demo with Keywords People Use, I'll give you a free 7-day trial of our standard plan, which allows you access to our new content optimization tool. This tool hooks into your Google Search Console data so we can find all the keywords you're ranking for and what pages are ranking. We then crawl your site content and use advanced machine learning techniques like embeddings and cosine similarity to find you content optimization opportunities that will quickly boost your impressions and clicks from Google. This new feature in Keywords People Use is already showing results for people using it. Don't miss out on the opportunity of a 7-day free trial. Just go to keywordspeopleuse.com/demo to book your slot. That's keywordspeopleuse.com/demo. You'll find the link in the show notes of this episode. Hi, Ed Dawson here. And as I'm a bit busy at the moment and need a break, welcome to another one of my Best of SEO is Not That Hard podcasts. These are the episodes from the back catalogue that I think have the greatest hits and ones that are still relevant and provide great value for you. So without further ado, let's get into the episode. Hello and welcome to SEO is Not That Hard. I'm your host, Ed Dawson, the founder of keywordspeopleuse.com, the place to find and organise the questions people ask online. I'm an SEO, developer, affiliate marketer and entrepreneur. I've been building and monetizing websites for over 20 years, and I've bought and sold a few along the way. I'm here to share with you the SEO knowledge, hints and tips I've built up over the years. Hello and welcome back to SEO is Not That Hard. It's me, your host, Ed Dawson, as usual. And today I'm going to be talking about topic cannibalization and how it relates to keyword cannibalization. So this is all inspired by a chat I was having just a few days ago with one of the friends of the show, Mark, and he's also a customer of Keywords People Use. He uses Keywords People Use on his sites and with his clients. Now, I was giving him a run through of how our new Google Search Console integration works, and part of the thing we can do in this is we can look at keyword cannibalization. And we were talking through this. So I'm going to use an example from one of my sites rather than his. And back in the day, obviously, when I had broadband.co.uk before we sold it, our main keyword was broadband. And we targeted lots of things then around broadband. So the topic of the site was broadband. And therefore, we used that keyword broadband on every single page. I can't think of a single page that didn't mention the word broadband somewhere upon it. So if we were then looking at that keyword, specifically that very sort of head term keyword, then keyword level, it was technically being cannibalized all over the site. Okay. Now, Mark's question was, well, how do we solve this problem? Surely are we not cannibalizing this keyword by using it on multiple pages? Now, this is where, Google's not that dumb, okay? It uses its common sense essentially. You think about any site on a particular topic, it's going to mention that topic almost on every page, and the keywords around that topic are going to be repeated across many pages. Okay, so keyword cannibalization doesn't mean there's an issue if you use the same words or keywords on multiple pages. Okay, the shorter those head terms are. Okay, so broadband would be used on every page on that site. Broadband speed test, one of the main functions on that site, is going to be mentioned a lot on a whole number of pages across the site, because we'll refer to broadband speed test tool in lots of places. Okay, it's not just the reference on a page that causes the cannibalization. What causes the cannibalization is the topic of the page. Okay, so if we have 2 pages on exactly the same topic, that's when we're going to get a cannibalization issue. So this is when we're talking about subtopics, obviously, because every page on say broadband.co.uk was about broadband in one way or another, pretty much. So your main topic will be repeated across many pages. As you break your topic down into your pillars, so on broadband.co.uk we had, for example, subtopics like home broadband and mobile broadband, then within those, mobile broadband is going to be mentioned probably on every single page in its subtopic area on that pillar, so any subpage off mobile broadband is going to also be a subtopic of mobile broadband. So it's going to mention that mobile broadband theme, a topic. So you're going to create these pillars of topics within your site. Now, done right, every single page in a subtopic will be unique in what it is talking about, even if it spreads out further below. So, for example, on home broadband, we had pages where it was home broadband for gamers. So this is where we had a page that was specifically about the kind of things a gamer would need to think about when it came to mobile broadband. We wouldn't talk about gaming for home broadband users on any other page, okay? Just on that page. And then we had another page which was home broadband for students, okay? This is so the kind of things that students will be particularly interested in. So students, for example, in the UK generally only live in a property for 9 months, because that's how long their year end is before they go home for the summer. So they're going to be very wary about signing up for long-term deals. So they will look for specific deals aimed at students. And they would also have interest maybe in larger download allowances, faster speeds, because they're going to be sharing it amongst lots of, data-hungry power users, rather than just being like a family at home where, you're going to get less use compared to having a whole load of students all in at the same time. And then going back to the gamers one, obviously gamers are going to be interested in high speeds, low latency, all those kind of things that are very specific. And some broadband providers are better than others for gamers, and some have special deals. So you talk about all those on that page, okay? So you can see how, although they're both about home broadband and our subtopic pages of the home broadband page that we had, they're not cannibalizing each other. So if people are just searching for home broadband, Google's going to know that, we've got the topic pillar here, okay? Especially as those subpages below it will link back to their page above them with the term home broadband. If you set your architecture right, you'll link back to them using that term, but the topic above them. And that page above will link down to the pages below it with their subtopics. So it would link down home broadband for gamers and home broadband for students, or just broadband for students, broadband for gamers. You get your linking up right like that. Then in future, if you're coming along again, you won't write another page about home broadband for gamers, okay? If the topic needs breaking out into other chunks, you create a page under home broadband for gamers that talks about the specific thing that you're talking about. It might be, the right kind of broadband for gamers who are using, say, games that don't require low latency. It might be more strategy game players, the kind of things they're going to be more interested in, okay? You might break it up. We might even do pages about individual games, okay? And how you can relate that to the topic of broadband, okay? Each one of them will all link back up broadband for gamers to the gamers page. And likewise, you make sure that you don't repeat the intent of the page that you're breaking up here, basically. And within that, it might just be, if you've got extra content to add, you just add it to that page. You might say, actually, I've got some new gaming content. It doesn't deserve its own page. The intent isn't right for its own page. So therefore, I'm just going to update the content on the existing page. That's a completely valid thing to do, often the best thing to do. Okay. So here you see, you've got to think about it in terms of not cannibalizing your topics. Now, you might get some keywords that do go across the two. Okay. Don't sweat it too much, especially if they're very low volume keywords that aren't going to drive a lot of traffic, and it's impossible to always keep them completely siloed, okay? But if you do see any kind of overlap like that, it's always, if you can, do a little cheeky link across, so that if you're referencing that, actually, if you want the full details on, the best broadband for gamers, and you had talked about games on your student page, and make sure you link to the page that you think is the best one for the intent of this topic. Okay, so what do you do if you find that you have got a cannibalization issue? Okay, so we've talked about now how to organize it in a way if you start from scratch, but what happens if you actually have an issue? Well, we can sort this out. So first of all, you need to identify where you have got cannibalization issues, and we can do that in our Google search integration. So if you register your site with us, connect your Google Search Console, we can then download all the pages and all the queries. We can then see for individual queries, what pages are ranking on those queries, and we can help you identify which ones where there's a cannibalization issue. Now, sometimes that issue is really small. All it means is, effectively, we've got the hierarchy right, we've got the page, we've got the sort of pillar pages and the subtopic pages underneath. And so in those cases, you just make sure you've got a link from each page back with the right keywords. And, that can sort that issue out and make sure that, the main page is getting its context right as far as is concerned in terms of those links on the hierarchy. And that the subtopic page is then going to be the one that ranks for the subqueries. But if you're looking for sort of rank ahead terms, then you're going to get your pages higher up the hierarchy. You're going to get that, and you get that right. So this helps you identify that. But it also helps you find pages where you've got lots of, more than one page ranking with the same intent across a query, and, neither one's performing well. In this case, this is where you've got a clear, obvious case where what you need to do is consolidate your content. Now, in most cases, this will be by finding the page that is ranking the best so far for the term, and then making sure that you consolidate all the content from the other pages that are ranking for that term into that one page. So it's expanding the content on that page, and then 301 redirecting all those pages that were cannibalizing into the sort of the page that you've now decided is a new sort of the complete guide to whatever it is those keywords are that you're targeting. Okay. Sometimes you might decide actually I'm going to create a brand new page and just 301 redirect all those cannibalizing pages into the new page and make sure that your content on that new page covers everything that those 3 pages did. Occasionally, you might actually decide a little bit of cannibalization is okay, because in general, Google, where there's overlap, it can kind of work out which page it needs to do. And by looking at how any pages that appear to be cannibalizing perform, if you're covering all the keywords and ranking well, say you've got all, number one keyword, rankings across all those keywords, or very high rankings across all those keywords across those 2 pages, you're getting all the traffic you want. That's absolutely fine. Sometimes you'll make that call, but often cases, it's a case of making sure your internal linking is right, where you've got subtopic pages which have got a slight bit of cannibalization. And if you've got a lot of cannibalization across a number of pages, to consolidate into a single page. So I hope you found that useful. If you've got any questions or any comments on this, please do not hesitate to get in touch. All the ways to contact me are in the end of the podcast and in the show notes. So look forward to seeing you next time. Before I go, I just wanted to let you know that if you'd like a personal demo of our tools at Keywords People Use, that you can book a free, no obligation, one-on-one video call with me, where I show you how we can help you level up your content by finding and answering the questions your audience actually have. You can also ask me any SEO questions you have. You just need to go to keywordspeopleuse.com/demo, where you can pick a time and date that suits you for us to catch up. Once again, that's keywordspeopleuse.com/demo, and you can also find that link in the show notes of today's episode. Hope to chat with you soon. Thanks for being a listener. I really appreciate it. Please subscribe and share. It really helps. SEO is not that hard. It's brought to you by keywordspeopleuse.com, the place to find and organise the questions people ask online. See why thousands of people use us every day. Try it today for free at keywordspeopleuse.com. To get an instant hit of more SEO tips, then find the link to download a free copy of my 101 quick SEO tips in the show notes of today's episode. If you want to get in touch, have any questions, I'd love to hear from you. I'm at Channel5 on Twitter. You can email me at podcast@keywordspeopleuse.com. Bye for now, and see you in the next episode of SEO is Not That Hard.